KEYC News Now to Go is sponsored by River's Edge Hospital and Clinic. People caring for people.
Moments like these make life worth living. River's Edge Hospital and Clinic is your partner in taking control of your own health. Take your steps towards a lasting tomorrow. River's Edge Hospital.
Hello, good morning, happy Thursday, and thanks for joining us for this KEYC News Now to Go update. I'm Jackson Jurek, and in a few minutes I'll be joined by First Alert meteorologist Caitlyn with a look at today's forecast and the gorgeous weekend ahead. We'll start with local state news. A Minnesota State University Mankato student has been released from ICE custody and is out on bond, according to the Minnesota ACLU. Mohammed Hulk of Bangladesh has been in ICE custody at the Freeborn County Detention Center since late March. Now, some Mankato faith leaders are voicing concerns about what may be happening inside the detention center. MSU professor of communications and media, James Dimmick, says those concerns include allegations of lack of food, water, and access to medical care. Dimmick says those allegations came from family members and attorneys of detainees. Tomorrow morning, this morning, the group says it will have ordained clergy members speak to detainees to assess the situation.
And their hope is that they can go and learn that nothing untoward is going on. Like, that's what we'd all love to do. We'd love to go and say, in this horrible situation that we're all trying to grapple with, at least people are being treated humanely. And that's what we hope to be able to come back and say. That's not what we've heard, but we would like to be able to respond to that.
Ordained clergy visits in jail are common practice. Dimmick says if they are told there are human rights concerns by detainees, it will start a long process of working to address those needs. We have reached out to Freeborn County Sheriff Ryan Shea and have not heard back by this time. The man accused of driving into a crowded patio at Park Tavern in the Twin Cities suburb of St. Louis Park, killing 2 people, has pleaded guilty. Stephen Bailey was originally charged with vehicular homicide for those deaths, plus other charges related to injuring several other people. As part of a plea deal, Bailey pleaded guilty to 2 counts of third-degree murder and 3 charges of criminal vehicular operation causing great bodily harm. Prosecutors say he was driving drunk with a blood alcohol level more than 4 times the legal limit.
Mr. Bailey's choices that day scarred many lives and affected an entire community. And let me say this again. They were choices. Alcoholism is a disease. Drinking and driving is not.
Server Christina Folkerts and Methodist Hospital employee Gabe Harvey were killed in the crash. Based on the plea deal, Bailey is expected to be sentenced to 25 to 30 years in prison. Back here closer to home, today will be the 4th installment of the Women of Cato musical series. It's a free event that takes place at the Cato Bar and Grill in Lower North from 5 to 7 p.m. The brainchild of musicians Mal Murphy and Laura Carrolls, the event showcases the female musicians, and its success has led to Mal and Laura to organize and host the first Women of Cato Festival this coming September.
It's really important for the community to know that there are a lot of female musicians. There are, the 5 or 6 female musicians who go around to all of the bars, but then there's a lot more who are in like the secret crevices of Mankato. That the goal of this event is to get them out in the public, get people to know about them, and also to know that we can collaborate no matter what style of genre of music people play. Laura Carls and I are going to be hosting a Women of Cato Festival at the Mankato parking lot on September 21st. Essentially, it's just gonna be a full day of different bands, female art booths. I would wanna make a call out to anyone who is female identifying. If you do any type of art, music, anything that you think you could provide for us, please reach out.
Back here in the studio, Caitlyn Lord joining me at the desk. And Caitlyn, if you remember a year ago, our year from about March to end of July was crazy.
Oh my goodness.
We went from wildfires to flooding to anywhere and anything else in between. So now it's important to kind of look back
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that we have to pay attention to is that dryness that we're going to have for the foreseeable future, with that dryness in the air and the hot, humid temperatures.
Yeah, you know, the humidity is there, even though we don't feel it. It's not there enough to make it feel soupy out there.
Yeah.
You're not even going to notice it by looking at dew point temperatures, but that moisture is out there, but it's not enough to hinder chances of wildfire. We haven't had rain in several days. There's really no rain in the forecast for the foreseeable future, as you mentioned, and with temperatures on the rise and strong winds moving in as this pattern slowly starts to shift next week, we're going to be in the prime ingredients and prime location for potential wildfire danger. And I'll talk more about that through this forecast. But first, I want to get through today, as today is going to be another beautiful day out there, similar to yesterday as far as temperatures go. We're looking at the low 70s. Today, topping out at a high of 70 degrees. Winds are going to stay light out there. Cloud coverage non-existent. Unlike yesterday, we did have that thin layer of clouds for most of the day, even though we got to see that sunshine. That thin layer of clouds kind of prevented those UV rays from being as strong as they could have been. So we had a little bit of a lower UV index yesterday, whereas today we don't have those thin clouds. So we're back up to a high UV index of 7. That peak maximum exposure time would be anytime between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. as that's when the sun is at its highest point in the sky. That time frame doesn't really fluctuate too much other than maybe an hour or so once we get more into those summer months, but it's still going to be right around that time frame in general. The one thing that does fluctuate depending on the UV index is the burn time, and when you get to those higher values of 7 and higher, your burn time gets shorter and shorter, meaning it takes less time for your skin to get sunburned. With a UV index of 7, that's 20 to 30 minutes, so make sure you're taking the necessary precautions to keep your skin safe from being burnt. Big important one is hydration. It's not just to help your skin stay hydrated, but keep you hydrated, because even though we're in the 70s, you can still fall ill to heat-related illnesses such as heat stroke or heat exhaustion, and that's going to continue through this weekend and next week, especially with temperatures on the rise. So even though it's not hot and humid, you still need to make sure you're taking care of your body out there, even though it doesn't feel quite like the middle of summer. Now, with that being said, tonight we'll be on the cool and comfy side out there with a low of 46 degrees by tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about that fire danger risk coming our way next week. As you can see, that Omega block is finally kind of broken down with that low pressure system off the East Coast, just out of the area now. What we are watching is this low pressure system down south of us, as that's going to stall, and that's going to keep this high pressure system up in this area as the next one kind of forms out by Alaska and works its way in through southwestern Canada into south central Canada and into our area. As that next system kind of develops out to the northwest of us, it's going to lead to a potential low pressure system which will be close to this high. The closer the two pressure systems become, the windier it's going to get. And because we still have this high pressure system above us that's going to stay, because this low pressure down here, guess what? It's going to stall. So that's going to keep this one up here, even though as one forms out to the west northwest of us, this high pressure system is going to keep us warm and sunny, but those winds coming in are going to lead to that elevated fire danger, not to mention the fact that we have a lack of rain in the forecast. A stray sprinkle possible tomorrow night, but that's not going to be enough to lead to the type of wetness or moisture that we need to prevent wildfires from happening. The other big factor is those warm temperatures mixing with the dry weather and the strong winds. Take a look at our fire grassland checklist. We've got the warm temperatures on the way, the strong winds, low humidity, lack of rainfall, and the dry vegetation. All of these are lining up between now and next week, especially once that wind starts to ramp up through this weekend. So please use caution. As you see here on our extended forecast, we've got the low 80s returning tomorrow. It's going to be beautiful next week. That breeze is going to feel fantastic. But again, make sure you are being cautious and making smart decisions. Campfires need to be small and contained, and dispose of anything like a cigarette, the end of a cigarette, properly. Make sure it is out entirely and you are using ashtrays.
87, 85, 85, 83, my oh my. That's going to be warm, I tell you what. Definitely have your sunscreen prepped and ready to go as well. Don't forget about that. Don't look at me.
Hey, don't look at me either.
I saw.
I was waiting for you to look at me.
Nope, we got some sports to talk about. The St. James area softball team is coming off a big win over state-ranked Jackson County Central earlier this week. One of the reasons behind the upset, Lainey Bowers, who's putting up a monster season. Here's a look at our prep athlete of the week.
No-hitters are rare in the game of softball. It requires a pitcher to be on the top of their game with a good mix, and it also helps if one is able to strike out hitters consistently and avoid having the ball put in play.
Remind myself to just stay calm all the time and don't get too worked up. I can always work back in the count if I get behind.
The Saints' Laney Bowers can do just that by keeping hitters guessing in the box. Bowers features a velocity and ability to change speeds to pile up the Ks. The junior is already over 150 strikeouts for the year and recently just added another no-hitter to her resume with the win over state-ranked JCC.
She had told me that she had not thrown a no-hitter up until this year, which I thought that was she would have done that already, but now for her to throw this many, it's really a test to her and how the defense plays with her in the circle, and she just brings a really solid presence to the team.
That's 6 no-hitters now on the season for the right-hander, including 1 perfect game.
Her ball moves quite a bit. She's got a rise ball, and she's been working a changeup, and I think she just keeps the batters guessing, and sometimes her balls just have kind of a mind of its own, and the wind helps some days, but she gets movement, and she's got some velocity, and she's very consistent at hitting her spots.
Quite the comeback for an athlete who missed almost all of last season due to injury.
She was a quiet leader last year. She still showed up every day even though she was hurt, and even though that was very tough for her. This year she kind of hit the ground running, and she's a lot more vocal, and she's able to kind of help out the younger ones that are on her team.
Bowers is back to full strength and right now is one of the top pitchers in the state of Minnesota. She ranks 2nd in strikeouts and is top 10 in earned run average.
It was hard for a while, but I kind of just knew that I was going to get stronger. I was going to be able to come back better than ever and continue to put in that work.
The pitcher's ability to dominate and take over a game in the circle are why St. James area's Laney Bowers is our prep athlete of the week.
That's quite impressive stuff there from Laney Bowers. Caitlyn and I talking about it. No matter the level of softball at any division or in college or in high school, impressive regardless.
Yeah,
so
better than I could do, that's for sure.
There you go. Thank you very much for watching this KEYC News Now to Go update. Stay with KEYC News Now for the latest local news, weather, and sports on our website.
And of course, download the free KEYC News and Weather apps for the latest headlines and forecast.